Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Church at Home with Rachel for Thursday, the 22nd. Yes, the 22nd of February. Continuing on from this Jesus for the Non-Religious by John Shelby Spong, I'd like to share with you a passage where he's talking about changing expectations and that's okay. So he's talking about the gospel from Luke of Martha and Mary. He says here, other narratives in the Gospels support a revolutionary yet deeply humanizing portrait. Luke's Gospel, for example, gives us the story of Jesus visiting the home of two sisters, Martha and Mary, chapter 10, verses 38 to 42. John's Gospel tells us that these sisters lived in the village of Bethany, near Jerusalem. With Jesus as the guest of honor, Martha, apparently the older sister, accepted the role of the woman imposed on her by society, and busily scurried around in the kitchen preparing the meal. Mary, on the other hand, stepped outside the box of female expectations and positioned herself in the role of a pupil, perhaps even a rabbinic student, sitting at the feet of the gifted teacher and daring to assume that she was capable of learning. Martha, feeling the hostility that always seems to be present in those who are not free, entered the room and demanded of Jesus that Mary be forced to return to the realm of women's work in the kitchen. Luke tells us that Jesus declined that request, consoled Martha, trapped as she was inside role expectations, and held up Mary's choice as the better part that will not be taken away from her. It is a stunning story of the patterns of imposed definitions being broken open by the call to a new understanding of what it means to be both female and human. He talks a lot more about that and includes the ideas about the other roles that are broken. About being a black person in a society that still seems to be, and more engagingly seems to be saying that the white society is better. People who are talking about immigrants as being other, those roles that are assigned. How many of you have experienced that you start school, and if you are quick on the playground and you are more agile than the others, then you're a jock. Or maybe you're the little kid who wears glasses and likes to sit in the corner in kindergarten and read books when everybody else is learning the alphabet. Then you're a scholar. You're the brainiac of the group. That child who's just can't sit still and becomes the troublemaker, or the child that always stands alone and is then antisocial. Even if none of these things are true, how many of us were pigeonholed right around about kindergarten, the first time that we enter into social situations on our own, where we're not with our parents, we're not with our family or our churches or places where we're gathered with other people, but those first times when we're called to be an individual and judgments are made, not just by the adults, not just by the teachers, but we do it ourselves. Like you can see, kids they get who's who and who they feel comfortable with, and then the groups form. That the group that likes to play and run around and play ball during recess, they come together, and those groups that maybe like to play skip rope come together, and those groups that like to read books might be the ones who hang out together, and maybe they just sit and read on the bench at recess. Who knows? We self-select, and that's normal. And when we self-select, quite often we have those choices. We make those choices for ourselves. However, other people often select for us, especially when we're younger. And in that self-selection come the role responsibilities. We are pigeonholed. We're told, this is who you were when you're 5. The number of times people have said to me over the years, especially people who haven't seen me forever, "Oh, I'm so surprised that you're a priest. You were such a quiet child. You always seem to be, you didn't speak out in public." And now I'm just mouthy. I just talk all the time. People look at me at 52 years old and have preconceived ideas because of who I was when I was 5. Forget all the experiences, all of the things I've lived through, all the books I've read, the places I've lived, the things I've done, the music I listen to. None of that matters because we people have preconceived notions. People have preconceived notions because of the color of my skin, my gender, my size. I share with someone that I am diabetic, and they don't look at me and say, some people don't look at me and say, oh, that's too bad. Do you have drugs to take care of it? Or how's it going? Are you living a healthy life? Like, are you able to do everything you want to do? And other people, and I've had people say this to me, look at me and say, oh, well, if you would lose some weight, then you wouldn't be sick. You know what? Not helpful. Maybe not even true. We pigeonhole people. We create these roles. Mary and Martha are a great story about those roles. Martha was expected, because she was a woman, to be doing woman's work. Prepare the meal, offer the hospitality, take care of the guests before you sit down yourself and eat. Before you sit down yourself and listen. Before you can participate in the group at all, you have all these other things you have to do because of the role you have been told you have to fill. And then there's Mary, who, God knows how, had the courage as a woman who had a role to play, said no. Because what she did was very much jump into a male role, sitting at the feet of the rabbi, listening to teaching that would normally be held for men. Mary broke the boundary of her role. She recognized in Jesus one who was saying to her, if you wish, you may. If you wish to listen to me, if you wish to follow me, if you wish to learn from me, if you wish to be loved by me, you may. She broke that boundary. Jesus didn't, as much as it sounds harsh when you read it in the four verses of the story, it seems sometimes like Jesus is like, Martha, you idiot, you didn't choose to do the right thing. But I don't think that's what he was saying. I think he was telling her basically in the one line that he gets when he speaks to her, is that you have chosen to do what was chosen for you to do. You have a choice. Mary is welcome here. The implied other part of the sentence is that so are you. If you choose to step outside the role that society has placed you in, you can sit with me. Nowhere is he guaranteeing it's going to be easy. I cannot imagine with that rowdy group of 12 that he hung around with, that they weren't having a few issues with the fact that there was a girl in their midst. Can you imagine Peter or James and John? They always have issues. Can you imagine them being totally okay with a girl in their midst, a woman, with all the rules about women and cleanliness and ritual everything, having a girl there? I can just imagine that we're not hearing the other side of the story. There's a whole Paul Harvey thing in here I think we could hear about. But Jesus was saying to her, if you wish, you may. How might we change our world if we follow Jesus up on that invitation? If you wish, you may. Jesus is offering us love. Jesus is offering us goodness, and he's offering us a challenge to do something different in our lives. But it's up to us to say, am I willing to break the bond? Am I willing to break the boundary that's holding me, saying, you are? 30 years ago, this coming Monday, I believe, Victoria Matthews was elected the first was consecrated the first female bishop in the Anglican Church of Canada. She heard Jesus saying to her, if you wish, you may. He did not tell her it would be easy. He did not say to her, this is going to be a walk in the park with sunshine and roses and birds chirping, because it wasn't. She had to break into a boys' club. Were they great guys who she was breaking in with? Maybe. I don't know. Remember who they were 30 years ago, who the bishops were. But She had to enter into a place, a context, situations in which she had no practice. She had no one going before her to say, here's a shortcut, or watch out for that bump in the road over there. She heard Jesus say, if you wish, you may. He didn't say, if you wish, you must. There's no must about it. Jesus does not tell us that we must change our lives. Jesus doesn't tell us that we must do something different. Jesus tells us that if we want to, we may. What role or responsibility or boundary are you living within right now that you might hear Jesus saying to you, if you wish, you may? He won't be angry if you don't say yes. Maybe a little disappointed, because usually Jesus knows better than us what we need. And when we follow him, even when it's not easy, we find more of what we truly desire. More love, more hope, more desire to do better, all of those things. But the thing is, Jesus is not saying to you, the countdown is on, answer this call before in the next 30, 29, 28 seconds, or lose it forever. He's simply saying to you, the door is open. The boundary has become a little less solid. And if you wish to cross it, you are welcome. As you go about your day, what boundaries are holding you back? And which boundaries is Jesus making just a little bit more permeable? That if you take that step, even though it might be scary, and even though it might be, it might take difficult decisions and might make things really hard for a little while, but in the long run, it might be absolutely incredible. Which call? How is Jesus calling you today? How is Jesus saying to you, if you wish, you may? Have a great day, and God bless, and I'll see you again tomorrow for Church at Home with Rachel.